Hello YouTube, this is Anime Punk 87. Today I will tell you a story that I made up specifically for this video. This is a story about a boy named Ted, a girl named Monica, and the pudding that brought them together. Now, Ted and Monica went to preschool together, but never knew the other existed. They each had their own group of friends and were okay living in their own worlds. They were very different people, but a day came during snack time that changed their lives forever. Monica grabbed a pudding cup out of her bag and began to open it. Now Ted had never seen anything like this little cup of pudding. He watched from across the room as Monica removed the lid and dipped her spoon into the cup. Delight filled her face as she took her first bite. She mused. This piqued Ted's interest, causing him to walk right over to her. "What are you eating?" he asked her. Monica gave him a confused look. "It's pudding," she told him. "What's that?" he asked, clearly not understanding. "Here." She passed him a spoonful of the chocolatey delight. He shoved the spoonful in his mouth and instantly fell in love with the pudding. "It's so good," he swooned. "Here, you can have it," Monica said as she passed him the cup. He devoured the rest of the pudding. "Do you have any more?" he asked. She shook her head. "I can bring you one tomorrow," she told him, and sure enough, she came to school the next day with another pudding for Ted. Little did she know what she started. Ted became crazed with the stuff and asked Monica every day for more pudding. As long as Monica provided the pudding, Ted was more than happy to be there by her side. A sort of friendship formed over this exchange of pudding. Monica would talk to him about girly things, and Ted pretended to listen as he savored his pudding. This continued for many years. It didn't take Monica long to notice that Ted was only into the pudding. But that didn't deter her or their awkward friendship. It was not till the teen years that Ted noticed her, but not in a friend kind of way. It was then that Ted put some effort into trying to listen and seem interested. But it was obvious that they were as different as night and day. The only thing that brought them together was the pudding. Monica fed his craving for the stuff in exchange for his company. Not that she couldn't make friends or get boyfriends, but there was something about Ted that she liked. She couldn't quite put a finger on it. He was like a needy child that followed her for a treat, and she was okay with it. Ted's efforts did not go unnoticed, and Monica was eager to feed the fire and get Ted to notice her, more than he noticed that damn pudding. She made her best attempts at drawing him in with her eye candy and flirty nature. Now Ted enjoyed every bit of it, but they didn't seem to see eye to eye on anything, and he loved his pudding more than he liked her. This frustrated Monica to no end, but strangely enough, she still wanted Ted, even as she grew more beautiful with each year and had guys bending over backwards and riding in the streets to win her heart. She had fan clubs dedicated to her, and everyone around her flocked to hang out with her. But her eyes were dead set on the boy that only wanted her pudding. One day, though, she came up with a brilliant plan to win his heart. She bought a buttload of Ted's favorite dessert and worked like mad to make and bake everything she could think of using his beloved pudding. Cakes, pies, brownies, frozen desserts, and everything under the sun incorporating the pudding. Soon her kitchen and cupboards were filled to the brim with the treats. She brought Ted over to show him the heaven she made for him. "Look, Ted, I've made all of this for you. Put my heart and strength into it. For you." Ted stared at the heavenly treats, his eyes wide and teary, drool leaking from his open mouth. He made his way to the pies before Monica yanked him back. She said as she waved a finger in front of his face, standing between him and the heaven on the other side. "I will let you have all of it if you agree to go out with me. I will give you all the treats you want, but only on our dates. You must agree to do something very nice and very special on all our dates. And you have to pay attention to me, Ted. I will even let you do anything you want to me. Anything at all. And I will do anything that makes you happy if you would just pay attention to me. Talk to me and love me, Ted. And adore me as much as I adore you. Fair enough? Yes, anything you want, he quickly replied, pudding being the only thing on his mind. Monica stared at him in slight anger. I mean it, Ted. Pudding isn't the only thing in the world. I'm bending over backwards for you. I can have a boyfriend right now that would give me more attention than you have ever given me. You see me with any other guy? I've got bumps and bruises all over me, making all of this for you, Ted. The least you can do is sincerely love me back. This hit Ted like a ton of bricks. He never before realized just how much crap she did for him. It's not like I don't like you, Monica. I mean, you're my best friend. Our friendship is messed up, Ted, she interrupted. You only came over to talk to me because you wanted my pudding, and we only stayed friends because of that obsession of yours. Ted dropped his head in shame, and dawned on him how pathetic he was. What is wrong with me? He began to wail. He started to frantically pace and curse himself. Monica was startled and began to panic. I am so sorry, Ted, she cried in panic. I'm really not mad at you. You're not pathetic. I love you, Ted. Please don't hate me. Ted tried to calm down, tears streaming down his face. He suddenly threw his arms around Monica and cried over her shoulder. She hugged him tight and did her best to comfort him. So, in the end, her brilliant plan worked and they dated for a couple of years. And as she promised, she gave Ted all the pudding he could eat on every single date, and Ted made a sincere effort to be a good boyfriend. So their love sprung from a boy's obsession with pudding and a girl's crippling childhood crush. Well, the two lovers got married, and to this day Ted remains addicted to pudding, and Monica still feeds that addiction. But now they've got 3 boys and an adorable little girl that Ted spoils like hell. And guess what? They're all obsessed with pudding. Guess it just runs in the blood. If you like my video, please remember to click on the like button and please subscribe to my channel for more videos. The music in this video was composed by Ross Bogdan, and you can watch the full video and listen to his other compositions by checking out his channel over here.